Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie, is coming to Netflix on August 5th, and of course is a continuation of the series that ended a few years ago, and if this movie does well, the show could potentially come back. I'm Chainsaw Reacts. This is my review of Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie. Here we go. I went into this film without reading the synopsis or even seeing a trailer because I wanted to go in as blind as possible, and I'm really glad that I did because this film surprised me on so many levels. When I finished watching the film yesterday, I had a few different thoughts. Number one, this film covers a variety of tones, themes, and genres, including how fun the film is, how funny it can be at times, how action-packed it is, how bonkers it is, how dramatic it can be at times, which was quite surprising, and how intense some moments can be. I was blown away by how much this film covered in the span of like an hour and 18 minutes or so. Number two, the story is fantastic. I was blown away by how deep this story went, because on the surface, when I did read the synopsis after seeing the film, I'm like, they give you a good sense of what this movie is, but they're hiding so much. And even in the trailers, they're hiding you quite a bit of stuff in terms of context and in terms of just completely hiding certain things that changes what this film actually ends up being. And number three, the show needs to come back because this film shows how much love and how much passion they put into telling this story, this really insane story, and it shows that they have more stories they want to tell within this world. So I do believe the show will come back based off this film because people that are waiting for this film, trust me, the wait is worth it because you're going to have a great time watching this film. I mentioned earlier about the dramatic elements in this film. It is quite surprising, okay? It is quite surprising, but it works so well because it adds depth to the story. Because with the story they're telling here, they could have taken the easy route of just having it be fun and bonkers and over the top and the Krang and all this kind of stuff. And all of that is there. But they also take time to make sure to show how impactful this is to our characters and how it's affecting potentially their relationships with each other. And it just goes to show that they took the time out to understand that, yes, we are telling a very insane story here with the Krang and dealing with time travel and all this kind of stuff. But they also make sure to point out this is going to affect them on a level that needs to be addressed. Because we could just go the route of just like bypassing a lot of character moments, but no, they don't do that. And that's what I appreciated most about this film is those small little moments. The big action, stuff that occurs and all the craziness in regarding to, the time travel stuff and how this is affecting the timeline, all that kind of stuff. That's all fun and great. But what I appreciated the most is those character moments because it added layers and, like I said, depth to making this story even better because they covered all of that. They could have easily bypassed it, but they didn't. Another big positive is the voice cast in this film. They did a fantastic job. I loved how everybody brought their A game and put 100% of themselves into this. At no point did I feel, they could have delivered that better or that didn't really make sense here. You could tell that they put a lot of work into making all these characters sound believable, and especially in major situations where major events occur throughout the film, you feel that emotion, you feel that insane over-the-topness, like wherever the film is taking place, like you can just feel that the voice actors are really putting a lot of effort into performing these characters and making it as believable as possible, because there's certain moments like, this is really insane, but I'm not taken out of it in terms of, the voice actor is not matching what's happening on screen. It's all working. The animation in this film is great. Of course, it's very close to the original series this film was based on, but at the same time, there are some great shots that make you go, wow, like that they put a lot of work into that shot right there. Some of them they do show in the trailer, but there's a good portion as well that are hiding and waiting for you to see for the first time watching the film in context and understanding what's happening. Just the visuals really worked, and I think at times it was actually getting like more grand and even bigger as the film was going on, especially when you get into the third act. Holy crap, visual galore. I don't consider this a spoiler because it's in the trailers and it's in the synopsis. Casey Jones is the one who goes back in time, of course, from the future to change the timeline because of the Krang and everything that kind of unfolds with the Krang. Now, here's what I'll say. They show a little bit in the trailer of the future setting where everything is happening and the timeline, of course, is in a very bad place and he has to be sent back, Casey. Here's what I'll say. That sequence is honestly one of the best scenes in the film, in my personal opinion. It is so well done, and it really hits you, and I'm like, wow, like this is a really intense moment. It's one of those intense moments where you go, what? It really just kind of sets up to expect some of this to occur. Like, it's going to get this intense at times, so be prepared. The story they're telling here is of course affecting all the characters we're following in regards to the Turtles, Splinter, April, and of course Casey. However, there's certain characters a part of that are actually more focused on than others, and that may be seen as a negative, but in my personal opinion, the story they were telling, it makes sense that a few of these characters are actually getting more screen time in regards to the story versus the others. Now, that's not to say that there's characters being sidelined, because that's not the case at all. We see all these characters. They're all having moments to shine, and they're standing out in their own way. But there are some characters that are getting a little bit more of a highlight in regards to the story they're telling because of how it's just kind of progressing and how it kind of sets up with the synopsis and everything and the future and all that kind of stuff. You understand why the story they're telling is why it's going in a certain direction in regards to focusing on certain characters out of the whole group. But understand that everybody has their chance to shine, and I don't consider that a negative. I consider it a positive based on how they are telling the story and how they're approaching telling it. Now, the question is going to be, do I have any negatives for this film in regards to things that I feel like they could have done better or did differently? And honestly, thinking about it, this film did a lot of things right. I honestly can't think of anything in particular that I felt like they could have improved on or anything. The only thing I could think of is maybe they could have added more time to the film, because maybe that would have made it better, or maybe it would have hurt it. I'm not really sure. I feel like the runtime is pretty good in my opinion for this film and the story they're telling, but I really can't think of a negative, like something I'm like, I wish they could have done that differently, because I felt like they covered a lot of things and made sure to give us a variety of tone and genres and to make it, you know, as fun and as crazy and as dramatic as it can be without going over the top and it turning not to being a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle film, but to something else entirely. So yeah, I really don't have any complaints. At the end of the day, I really enjoyed this film. I'm definitely going to watch it again because, as you know, first time viewing, you may miss some things, and I probably did miss a few different things, but I had a great time with this film, and I feel like if you're a fan of the series and you're excited for this film, be excited. It is worth it because this film really stands out in a big way, and you're going to walk away going, wow, that was a great story. I really enjoyed how they told that. I need the show to continue, and I do think the show is going to continue. I really do think that's going to happen. I could keep rambling about my thoughts about this movie, but you guys pretty much already know how I feel about it, so I'll stop. I hope you guys enjoyed my review of Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie. Let me know your thoughts and hopes for this film in the comments below, and let me know if you're excited for the film as well, also in the comments below. I will talk to you guys soon. Peace out, everybody.